Hey, hi everybody. My name is Jerry Wise, and this video is about narcissistic parents and the things they are delusional about. And it's important we learn about those delusions. I've been working with clients for over 45 years, helping them get their family of origin out of them so they can be their true selves. First of all, I want to talk about some of these delusions. First of all, they believe you must honor, obey, respect, and love an abusive parent. That's delusional. Why should I honor, respect, and love an abusive parent? I don't think it's bad to honor, respect, and love a parent. But to love an abusive parent? That's a little tougher. And that I should respect and that I should obey, and honor them. And again, I know about the Bible verses. I was a pastor for many years. And I'm not sure, honoring evil is really exactly what they had in mind. So that's one delusion that a narcissistic parent will have. Number two, all children owe their parents for their care that they were given them growing up. Food, clothes, education, a car, and they should owe their parents for that because they are their parents. Or the narcissist believes, well, look what I did for you. I raised you. I fed you. I sent you to school. I bought you nice clothes. Yes. And I believe had you not done that, you would have been breaking the law. We need to be fed and go to school. It's not that I'm necessarily ungrateful for those things. And in fact, I may even be grateful for some of the things a toxic, narcissistic, or bad parent may do. But that's not owing them for it. That's what parents are called to do. That's when you become a parent, is what you can expect. You want to help your child launch into the world, and that requires a certain amount of financial resources, food, clothing, housing. You don't go, and so now you owe me for this. What? Well, I didn't even choose it. I think that was you and Dad's choice to have me. I didn't get a say in that. And so, again, I can be grateful for you bought me that car. I was really thrilled. Thank you so much. But I don't owe you for that. That was something that you did as a parent. Now, you may have thought I was going to owe you for that, but that's delusional. That's delusional thinking. Number three, they have, by rights of being your parent, a right to always control you, even past the age of majority, even past 18 or 21 or whatever. That if you're 50 and I'm 75, I should be able to control your life. And I should be able to control you because I am still your parent. No, you are no longer my parent. You are my father, or you are my mother. You are no longer my parent. Parents parent children. Parents don't parent adults. Now, I'm not saying there are not some exceptions in some families. If somebody's handicapped, I understand all those. But in general, parents don't parent adults. Adults, we grow into becoming brothers and sisters with our parents. In a healthy family, in a narcissistic family, it's going to be, I have a right to control you from cradle to grave, whether your grave or my grave. Number four, narcissistic parents always have the right to be intrusive and interfere in your life choices. Always they have the right to do that. I think about weddings, marriages, and I've talked to thousands of clients and couples, and I used to do premarital counseling and how many times mothers and fathers got involved in planning and doing the wedding. It wasn't even the bride's wedding. It was the mom's wedding that she always wanted. And she has a right to interfere in those things and to be intrusive because she's the mother of the bride or the father of the bride. Well, wait a minute. I'm the bride. And isn't this my wedding? I thought it was supposed to be mine. So they interfere in marriages, whether you have children or not have children, when you're going to have children, your job situations, finances, religion, politics, even proximity. And I know someone whose parents bought a house and then bought a house for them, the friends of mine, so that they could live next door to their parents. They didn't ask their kids about that. It was just assumed. You're going to be living right here. We're going to buy both these houses and you're going to live in that one. And because that's just what we will do as a family, and that's what we're going to do. Well, maybe they didn't want to live next to their parents. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that, especially in a dysfunctional family. I want to mention, I've got 3 more delusions I want to share with you, but before I go there, I want to mention a program that I have available, Your New Road to Self. Take a look at it down below. Check it out. Check out the testimonies. I will never post a fake testimony on any of my websites or any marketing anywhere. Never have a fake. You see what people have been saying about the program and how it has helped them so much. This program helped me so much. Helped me to do things and to become, feel, think in ways I never thought were possible. So it's something that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And this is a program that I have used and will continue to use the rest of my life. And it has helped me be calmer, happier, and find a more true self. So check that out. Number 5, a delusional thought of narcissistic parents. They have the right to invoke that they did their best and could not have parented any differently. Now, wait a minute. I don't know of anybody in the world who, doing your best is a pretty perfectionistic way of looking at it. I'm not saying people don't do their good enough or try to do the best they can for many things, but we all have choices and we all have, things that we can decide about our lives. Now, I understand that even unhealthy parents were affected by their unhealthy parents, and I understand that. So it's not a blame game I'm looking for. And in fact, if someone would say, well, they did the best they can. Well, first of all, Dad, I'm not blaming you for the parenting. I just don't believe there weren't other choices you could have made at times. But I'm not blaming you. I understand. Believe it or not, for me. Do you know there are ways I could have made other choices than I did in the mistakes that I've made in my life? Well, of course I could have. I didn't choose those. There were also consequences for that as well. It's not about blaming them. It's about them kind of whitewashing their responsibility. And that's where I don't want to blame them. I just want to point out the fact that, well, when you were an adult and I was a child when we were growing up. And almost that's enough said. I understand you may have had it rough. I understand there may have been lots of difficulties, but you were the adult. I was the child, to say like the enabling parent, or because I couldn't make those choices at all. Whether they would have been easy choices for you, maybe they'd have been horrible choices for you and hard. And I understand that. But you did the best you can, so shut up, son. No, delusional. 6, boundaries are irrelevant with parents in the families. In the narcissistic families, boundaries are irrelevant. We have this overlap of enmeshment that's going on emotionally. And when you have enmeshment, boundaries go out the window. When we have this kind of relationship with someone connected while being ourselves, then boundaries come into play. Once we start overlapping that emotional process, and that can be real problematic and often ends love when you do that. So, I'm your father. Well, we are family. Boundaries are irrelevant. Well, I understand you're my father. I never thought you weren't. Is that a statement of our relationship or a statement of guilt? Or I'm not sure, because I've known you were my father all my life and will know that the rest of my life. So I'm not sure why you're invoking that. Well, we're family. So therefore, I can go take your confidential information and go share it with your narcissistic sister. Because we're family. We're just family. Boundaries out the window. No. Yeah, we are family, and a healthy family will respect one another and appropriate confidences. Number 7, parents have a right to believe you had it easy as a child because they had it much worse and will justify their abuse and mistreatment. Well, they may have had it worse. Though in some ways, when I think about it, kids today, I wonder if I did have it worse. I think it's a lot harder for kids to be kids these days with everything going on. I think it's very difficult. And they're facing challenges I never had to face. I had my own challenges. There were my own difficulties in growing up in the 60s and the 70s and, during those times. But, yeah, it's different today. And so I can't really say, well, I had it so much worse. But even if somebody did experience more abuse or more mistreatment, I understand that. But that never justifies giving mistreatment. Okay, my father whipped me with a belt, so I'm going to whip you with a belt. Now, he did that about every 2 or 3 days. I've only whipped you with the belt, once a week, once every other week. And so you have it so much better. Delusional. Those are delusional thinkings and rationalizations and excuses. And again, that's a delusional thought for them. So what can we do differently? How can we improve, get healthier, have some new changes in our paradigm so that we can get our family or the narcissistic parent out of us? It's easy to slip into normal rules and guidelines with abnormal relationships. And that's very easy to do. And just like, certainly a normal societal rule, which I agree with and think is a good one, we all need to learn to accept others' imperfections, faults, and weaknesses, right? Isn't that a generally good rule that's normal society? Apply that to a narcissist. Or, here's another situation. Does this mean I tell the physically abused wife that she should just accept her husband's weaknesses and faults? Which I've heard pastors, lawyers, teachers, counselors tell wives, well, you just need to understand he had a hard childhood, and I'm sure that's part why he takes that out on you. Okay, well, that's a nice interpretation, but it doesn't really save her life. So that's clever psychologically, but how is it? So she's supposed to go, oh, well, in a Freudian way, he's taking out his childhood on me. Oh, well, then I should just give in to and comply with the abuse. We're applying normal rules to abnormal relationships. And we want to learn not to do that. In the program below, if you join that, you'll find I talk a lot about that and how to shift that dynamic. Secondly, they won't change. And that's a question you want to ask yourself. If I came to believe they're not going to change, can't change, won't change, will not change, now ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you want to have with them? Because they're going to remain delusional. And everybody's waiting on their parents to stop being delusional, and their sister and brothers and everybody else in the family. If they don't stop being delusional, what are you ready to do, and what type of relationship do you want to have with them? And that you choose to have with them. Continue on the same way, low contact, no contact, or a self-differentiated contact, and some people have chosen that, which is, I'm going to stay in contact, but I want to learn to not care, to be more detached, and to see the foolishness of what's going on, while at the same time maintaining my own sense of self. And again, people can make that choice too. I think it depends on what's going on. I wouldn't tell a wife who's being physically abused by her husband, just stay in there and work on being more of a self. That's not appropriate. But there's some families that there might be narcissists that could be more appropriate. So let's not judge everybody in the same way or everybody's family in the same way. So if they're not going to change, what kind of relationship do you want to have with them? And we can give up our hopes and dreams that they will someday change or that you will change them, or the world will change them, or, Thirdly, or C, going no contact may only resolve 50 to 60% of the problem. We need the additional inner no contact, and that's what I specialize in. Now, I help people going no contact. I believe no contact sometimes is the only reasonable choice and appropriate choice. But then that doesn't end it. The person may feel relief, they may feel good, and may feel good for a while, but the family still tends to be within them. And so that's what I do to help them work on getting the inner no contact. And that's also talked about in the program. I hope you'll join. Please subscribe, comment, and like this video. I want to thank you for joining me today. Have a great day and be wise.